60% gaming keyboards are surging in popularity because they offer gamers the core functionality that they need, but in a small and compact design that leaves a lot of desk space for things like gaming mice and other stuff. This one from Redragon's called the K530 Draconic. It's got brown tactile switches, Bluetooth 5.0, RGB backlighting, and it comes in at a price of around $60 US. But is all that stuff actually as good as it sounds? We're gonna find out right now. In the box, we've got the keyboard, and this is the white version, but it does come in black as well. We've got an angled USB-C cable, 4 separate key switches. There's a blue, brown, black, and a red, and I assume the purpose of these is that you can test them out and see how they perform and feel. And then there's a package with a user's manual, keycap removal tool, and a Redragon logo sticker, and finally we've got a switch removal tool as well. As soon as I picked up the keyboard, I noticed the build quality right away. This thing is rock solid and built like a tank, and it's got some weight to it. The whole thing's just made of plastic, and I mean, normally that's not my favorite when it comes to gaming keyboards, but with the Draconic, it's really not a bad thing. It's just so strong and sturdy that I don't think an aluminum baseplate could have made this any stronger than it already is. I tried to flex it by pressing down on it pretty hard, and it barely even moved, so I think Redragon made the right choice here going with a plastic base, because it helps keep the cost down, which is nice, and obviously doesn't compromise the build quality in any way. Underneath, there's some flip out feet to raise up the back end of the board, and there's some soft rubber all over them to help with grip, even when they're not deployed. And we've got 2 more rubber pads towards the front as well. I actually found it to be really grippy during all my testing. It didn't slide around on me at all, and that's really impressive for a 60% board, because these tiny little things don't have a lot of surface area or weight to them to really keep them firmly situated on your desk like a full-size keyboard would. The keycaps are ABS plastic and they feel good. They're strong and I don't feel like the spacebar has much flex in it, and that's really nice. I like a solid feeling keycap. The sides are glossy and smooth, but the tops feel like they have a bit of a texture or grippiness to them. And for a budget keyboard, I would say these are really nice keycaps. This board uses brown mechanical switches that provide tactile feedback, but without that audible click sound that you'd expect from a blue switch, and they're supposed to be dustproof, and they're rated for a lifespan up to 50 million key presses. There's a bit of a metallic pinging kind of sound that I can hear when I'm really listening to the key presses, and that makes them not really my favorite when it comes to how they sound. But keep in mind that this is in a testing environment where I'm literally like trying to listen for what these things sound like, so I don't think it's something that you're going to notice when you've got headphones on and you're gaming. The switches are Hotswappable, so you can pull them out and replace them with other compatible Redragon switches, and you can also drop in one of the extras that came with the board to test out how they perform. Unfortunately, I don't see the Draconic available right now with anything other than brown switches, so you really don't have any options for other switches when it comes to buying this board. But you do have those other switches that come in the box that you can test out and see how they perform so that you can get a feel for what you really like. That way, when it's time to upgrade your keyboard again, you might be able to pick one with a different switch, or if you can happen to find some of those other switches available on Redragon's website, I couldn't right now at the time of this recording, but if you check and they're there one day, you might be able to buy those and swap out the browns. All the connectivity is on the left side. There's a USB-C port, on-off switch, Bluetooth pairing selector, and some Bluetooth indicator and battery level LEDs. Getting this thing set up on Bluetooth devices is super easy. All you gotta do is turn it on and then select one of the 3 pairings and then find Draconic on your Bluetooth device. It's that easy. I tested it on an iPhone, an Android phone, and on the PC, and it just worked on everything. And actually, it was really cool having it connected to my cell phone because I could like rapid fire text messages at people. In terms of wireless range, I found that it worked pretty well as long as I stayed within about 10 feet of my PC. Any further than that, and there was noticeable lag present when you press a key and then see something register on the screen. So as a general rule of thumb, I would say just keep the keyboard as close as you possibly can to your device to avoid any potential issues with lag. I didn't end up running the battery completely down, so I just did a bit of research online to see what other people were reporting for the battery life, and it sounds like you can expect up to about 10 hours with all the RGB backlighting running, and that number jumps to about 4 times that if you turn the backlighting off. And it's not just a wireless keyboard. You can plug in the USB-C cable and use it as a wired keyboard as long as you switch it to off. And that means if you run out of battery, you still have options depending on which device you're using it on. Controls and shortcuts are all accessible using alternate function key combinations. It's just like pretty much every other 60% board out there, where if you still want to have all of those functions that are available on bigger boards, key combinations are really the only way that you're going to do that on these smaller ones. One of my favorite shortcuts is the magic function on the caps lock key. You can hold it with one finger, then use WASD as your arrow keys. It's a really easy and intuitive way to use arrow keys on a 60% board. And what would us gamers do without RGB backlighting? There's 13 presets available. You can cycle through them with the function keys and change the brightness, and also program some custom key lighting as well. If you prefer to use software to control lighting, Redragon does offer a basic app that you can download from their website. I think the lighting looks good, but it's not really all that bright compared to some other options that are out there on the market, and I did happen to notice that for some reason the caps lock key doesn't light up with any of the preset lighting effects, which I kind of thought was a bit weird. The K530 Draconic's offering a ton of features and a really premium build quality for its price point. There's 60% boards out there that cost twice as much and offer way less as far as I'm concerned. The only real downsides here are, you can only get it with brown switches, and the switches aren't the best sounding in my opinion, and the backlighting's a little bit on the dim side. But if you like brown switches, those downsides are really not that big of a deal. And to be completely honest, I think they're overshadowed by all the stuff that the Draconic does well. So for $60, I think it's a really good deal. So I'm going to put the purchasing links down in the description. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and we'll see ya.